Hello, welcome to episode number 48 of Beyond the Plate, which is the quintessential show on everything food, hosted by Chef Amrita Raichand. I'm the loyal, faithful sidekick. My name is Hrishi K. Welcome, Amrita. How are you doing? New hairdo, looking lovely as always.
Thank you. It's summer after all. You need to cut the hair off.
Well, just to give you guys some great news or share it with you, we crossed 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Radio 1 was given the YouTube golden button. Thank you, people at YouTube. So YouTube, Google sent us this golden button for our services to YouTube. We're already 1.7 million subscribers. And sometimes I can't fathom how we got there. I mean, I know we made a concerted effort to say we're going to put lots more videos out. And I'm saying to Amrita off the mic, I don't know how we got there. And she has a point. She says, 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 videos are celebrities. So thank you all the celebrities who roll in and do all this content for us. We merely place cameras and shoot. That's all we're doing.
It's working in your favor.
Yeah, it's working. In fact, some of the fun stuff we're doing is more on Reels, on Instagram.
Yes.
But I guess the long format with just the celebrity in there works for people. Also, we had an episode on Sattu, if you remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember we started off saying this is the poor man's protein source, but it's gradually getting popular as a superfood. Now we have to take some credibility, some faith, and some credit for popularizing Sattu, because believe it or not, that video has crossed 1.5 million views on Instagram.
Yay.
A video, a collab post between Amrita and Radio 1 and myself. So, well, clearly people are loving it, and now that Amrita has also shared how to make Sattu at home and given you a few delicious drink recipes, you've got to check it out. So, fantastic. On that note, it's onward ho to today's theme, and it's jackfruit, isn't it? Wow.
It is. Sattu is a summer special. It is indeed, and just like Sattu is a great ingredient really looked out for during summer, so is jackfruit. And incidentally, Rishi, unfortunately, in fact, even jackfruit is known as a poor man's food, and it really doesn't deserve that title at all, given how nutritious it is, how amazing it is, and that's what today I'm going to talk about. Now, jackfruit, unlike a lot of other fruits and vegetables, is actually native to our country and has been indigenous to the Western Ghats, having sown its seeds across our country, apparently 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, according to our very famous food historian K.T. Achaya. Now, poems have been written about it with mentions in the Sangam literature and Jataka tales, but unfortunately, like every other good idea, Rishi, it took the West and the whole trend of veganism to popularize the very ignored jackfruit. Now, jackfruit, I'm sure you all know, a little GK lesson here, is the world's largest tree fruit. Guess how much it can weigh up to?
I would reckon about 20 to 25 kgs. I could be wrong.
35 kg it can go up to.
Oh, that's heavy.
That's really heavy, and it's...
Do your weights with it if you don't have conventional weights.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but it's going to get squished in your hands eventually. Rishi, you're from Tamil Nadu, and jackfruit is your state fruit, also of Kerala. Apart from that, it also grows in Maharashtra, where it's called fanas. It's in West Bengal. There, it's called gachpatta, very interestingly, which means mutton that grows on trees.
Wow.
Yeah, and Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, all of these places, it's called Kathal, like it's most popularly known. And you must have seen that movie also, Kathal, which popularized it further. What is it called in Tamil Nadu? I can never pronounce it.
It's a tricky one, because you got to roll your which very few people can do. And I have these vivid memories of going to Tiruvetipuram. Tiruvetipuram is a small little township which is near Kanjivaram, which is the temple town and the Sari town.
Right.
The nearest known town is Kanjivaram, where my paternal grandmother and grandfather used to stay. And it's the first time I ever had jackfruit in sambar form. And my grandmother used to try and get my very un-Tamil pronunciation corrected, and she finally succeeded. We used to say pala payam, payam, payam. And she says, no, it's pala payam, pala payam. You have to roll the yeah. Just like vaya payam, which is the banana, which is the Tamil for banana. So you have the fruit, which is the outer layer, which is absolutely delicious as a fruit or as a dessert. Then when you throw that away, the seed inside you boil and you make it really tender, and you put it in a spicy sambar. And that tastes divine. So therein, why it's the state fruit, because it's used in myriad forms. It's used as a fruit, it's used as an appetizer, and of course as a staple sambar which you have with rice. So that's the story of jackfruit that I can associate with my life.
I'm so happy to hear this from you because, unfortunately, people don't understand the value of this. And in South itself, there are some 200 traditional recipes. And I'm so glad that you actually just rattled off a few, and you're not even, somebody who's really in the food space. Now you are. After doing the show with me. Okay. In fact, in summer is very fondly called Chakamanga season in Kerala to celebrate the bounty of jackfruits and mangoes. And when South Indian states celebrate their New Year in April, jackfruit holds an esteemed position as a symbol of prosperity for Vishnu Kani, which is the first site of New Year's Day to kickstart a fabulous year. Now, the way you were telling us a story about your experience with jackfruit, I have a very special experience too. Coming from Dhanbad, I've also grown around jackfruit, and in my in my ancestral home of my grandfathers, we used to have a big courtyard, and it used to be a full day event where these big jackfruits were brought by men, and then newspapers used to be laid out, then oil buckets used to be around because you had to dip the knife in it, also your hands in it, because when you cut the jackfruit, there's this sticky, gooey, gummy liquid that flows out, which really kind of irritates everybody. I used to just love watching it, and that was my first exposure to jackfruit. And even in Dhanbad, Jharkhand, UP, like I mentioned earlier, jackfruit is made in so many myriad ways. It's really sad that modern cities are not aware of the beauty of this vegetable, which is why I thought I must talk to everybody about it. Even when I got married, Rishi, my in-laws had no clue about it. I introduced them to jackfruit, and now every time it's in season, we have many, many types of jackfruit dishes.
I believe the latex, the sticky latex, is used in traditional medicines.
Yes,
I had no idea. That's absolutely fabulous. Yeah.
Rishi, last week, if you remember, we covered the topic of Earth Day. We spoke about zero waste and sustainable living. I got even more inspired to talk about jackfruit today because even this fruit, to some extent, helps us touch upon the same ethos of sustainable living. I mean, the more that's spoken about seasonal foods, the less it is. And one thing that is abundant in the season right now, like we just discussed, is this mighty fruit, which is not just a fruit, it's a vegetable also, and so many things in between. I love the fact that you knew that the latex is used for medicinal purposes. Besides that, it has such great potential. Every part of the tree is useful. We humans eat the fruit and seeds. The leaves of jackfruit make for great cattle feed. Then the wood is so sturdy, so strong that it gets used for making musical instruments and even in construction purposes. In fact, given the impending food shortage, jackfruit should truly be cherished, as it has this unique quality of being able to grow in all sorts of climates and soil types. It can handle extreme droughts and floods and is relatively easy to grow, Rishi. It needs least attention but yields so much fruit. It can withstand pests and diseases, so no chemical inputs are needed. The crop never fails, even if other crops around it fail.
I'm going to actually jump straight to nutritional value right now before we go into our recipe of the day. So give us a little breakdown of the nutritional values of jackfruit, please.
And it's important to talk about that also because, people usually turn their nose up by just looking at the way the jackfruit looks. And I always say, don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, because it's really, really, amazing, not just in taste, but also in nutritional values. And I'm going to quickly break down the same. First things first, despite being a carb-rich fruit or vegetable, it has a fairly low glycemic index, which means it's a measure of how quickly your blood sugar rises after eating a food. Now, this has been attributed to its fibrous flesh and some of the protein that it also contains, which slows down the digestion and helps prevent blood sugar spikes. Moreover, it's very high in potassium, iron, phosphorus, sodium, zinc, and vitamins like A, B, and C. Now, according to health experts, jackfruit is a great source of calcium, which helps in improving bone health. And since it's rich in vitamin C and magnesium, it leads to better absorption of calcium in the body, which helps in strengthening bones. Now, one of the lesser known facts, which you'll find very interesting, Rishi, is that jackfruit also helps in healing sleep disorders like insomnia. This is because it is rich in essential minerals like magnesium, which helps in regulating neurotransmitter levels in the body, which further helps in relaxing the nerves and improving sleep. So overall, jackfruit is truly a jack of all fruit and vegetables, don't you think? And
I think so too.
Definitely added to our diet.
9833943943 is the Ask Amrita WhatsApp hotline. 9833943943. Pop a question there about food, nutrition, recipes, anything, or food history, and she will answer it. Please also put your name in there. The show comes to you every Monday, 8:15 to 9 a.m. on 94.3 on the FM band, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and on Wednesday on the Radio 1 International YouTube channel. There's also a recipe of the day, which you hear not only on the radio, but Amrita films it in her studio kitchen. So you will see Amrita in all her glory relaying that to you in video form. Yeah, there's also Chef and Beyond, which is Amrita's YouTube channel. Please become a subscriber there to get interesting food related content all the time. So let's go in to the recipe of the day.
The recipe of the day is obviously made with this delightful jackfruit, but in its raw form. And we're going to use it as a vegetable. Rishi, the texture, the spongy texture, the bread-like texture is so amazing that it helps in absorbing all the flavors that you add to it, which is why it's become a big thing for vegans. It gives them that meat-like texture, the flavor, you can really make it very, very exciting. Now, the recipe that I'm going to share today can actually be your base recipe for making many, many more recipes. I'm going to give you a classic Kathal Ki Sabji ki recipe, which is, a curry-based recipe, but you can use this same recipe to make cutlets. You can turn them into pulled jackfruit and add it to your tacos. You can make burgers with it. Oh my God, the list can go on and on. But once you get this base recipe right, you have nothing to worry about. So how are you going to get this right? I highly recommend using mustard oil when you make this particular style of Kathal Ki Sabji. This is a very typically Bihari style of making it. A lot of people boil jackfruit before cooking it. You can do that, but frankly, I don't like to do that. We never do it because it somehow just takes away that bite from this beautiful vegetable. So what I like to do is in the mustard oil, I like to first saute it, give it a nice sear to give it some browning. Then I add, various spices like cumin seeds. And I like to add some cumin seeds, some bay leaf, black peppercorns, whole spices basically. Also, whenever you are cooking with kathal, which is jackfruit, try adding enough ginger and some hing, which is asafoetida, because it helps in digesting it properly. Then of course go in some onions, some tomato. You nicely brown all of these ingredients, add your dry masalas, and then cook out this vegetable till the point it's completely broken down, but it's not gooey. There's still some bite. You add some boiling water to it, of course. Once it's nicely bunawed in Punjabi and Bihari, we say buno the vegetable till you really see the oil separating from the sides. That's when you add some hot water to allow it to get cooked right through and absorb all the flavors. And then you have it either dry or in the liquid form. And the best way to have it is with some steamed rice or with some chapatis.
All right, it's Ask Amrita time, and we've actually picked two questions this time around because the answers are more or less similar. Naman asks, how does oat milk perform in terms of frothing and foaming? Anybody who drinks coffee knows that you need the froth and foam for use in coffee-based beverages or creamy toppings. That's one question. And Nisha asks, can you recommend any oat milk-based recipes that highlight its unique flavor and versatility? So off we go, Amrita.
Nisha and Neman, both with N's. I'm pretty sure they've seen some of the recipes that I've been sharing, a lot of smoothie recipes where I've used some of the plant-based milks, and I'm sure the questions have come out from there. And they're very good questions. To answer Naman's question, yes, you can definitely froth and foam oat milk and use it in your lattes and coffee. It is actually delightful with it. For all those people who can't have milk, this is a great option. Nisha, to answer your question, a lot of people don't, in fact, like the flavor of oat milk. So to them, I advise adding a lot of highly flavored fruit to kind of combat the taste. But I'm glad that you like it. I love the taste of oat milk. And to emphasize and bring out the flavor, where I really like to use oat milk is in my ice lattes or my ice creams, or even like chilled chia pudding, where basically you get the flavor of oat milk and then with the added flavorings of rest of the ingredients. So yeah, you can definitely use them in these ways.
Lovely. And onward, as we inch closer to the 50 episode mark, we're going to see you for episode number 49 the next time around. So jack up your usage of jackfruit. Thank you, Amrita. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me here. Bye-bye.
94.3 Radio 1.